Well, good afternoon, it's me again. Now I'm still at the Romney Marsh Ploughing match, but I thought I'd take you along and show you a few of the stalls and the stands and talk to the guys about their tractors and one thing and another. Anyway, thanks for coming along. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video, and give us a comment down the bottom if you disagree with what I've got to say or even agree, so that'd be great. Anyway, shall we get on?
Be edited.
Oh, of course it's going to be edited.
How long do you want me to talk for? I can talk for England sometime.
Oh, England's good.
It's going to cost us anything.
Good afternoon, your name is?
My name's Steve Patfield.
And you are part of what?
Branch manager of the new depot at Ernesto, Ashford.
Ashford?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're at the ploughing match today?
First ploughing match.
And introduce your colleagues?
My colleagues, James Emery, he's our assistant branch manager and parts manager.
Okay.
Janet, who's over there next to the tractor, she's our service manager.
Okay.
And Nick is our area sales manager, currently working out of Dartford, but he does come down here and share the area as well. So we're a small team working together.
Okay, now Ernesto's our case, aren't they? The one up at Dartford's case, they've gone over to case. You used to be New Holland, didn't you?
We still are New Holland. There's Ernesto,
yep,
which have got 10 New Holland depots.
Right.
And there's Ernesto Power, which is the red side, the case side. And we've got 8 depots.
I like the case because I've got a 5130 and it's a great tractor, but it's an older tractor.
Maxim.
And it's
right.
Good.
That's a direct replacement for it. So if we want to do a deal,
right.
We'll do a deal.
Right. So anyway, tell me what you got here and tell me the horsepower and one thing and another.
Well, come on then, Nick.
You keep on going out of shot.
Nick is more experienced. He's been with those longer than me, so I'll let him do a little bit of chat and spread it around a little bit.
Right. So what we got then?
This is a Luxem 120, 120 horsepower plus boost.
Yep.
You can have this with a standard transmission or a CVX, variable shift transmission. It's well, fairly basic. We've got 2 working locally to here over towards Henterden that the customer's got on the dairy farm.
Yep.
Fits his system very well. Got wide tyres on it for his graft work. Not the same as these, but it's built in Austria. Yep. At the Steyr factory in Austria. So it's a little bit of a Steyr tractor and a case tractor.
Yeah. Now, obviously, 120 horsepower, we're looking at more of the dairy side rather than the arable side, because you need today you seem to need about 200 horsepower for an arable.
This is still a small arable tractor.
Yep.
Because it's light enough to put a large fertiliser spreader on the back.
Yep.
Or a fairly large mounted sprayer. Okay. So there's still a market for this in the arable business. Yes, we all see these horsepowers going up and up and up.
Yep.
You know, at the end of the day, you want a light tractor for getting over ground when it's, you know, when the crop's still young and it's not going to sink in and make ruts.
And make tram marks that we've had trouble with today on the ploughing fields. Terrible tractors. Now, would it be rude to ask the price range of a tractor of this size?
These are just under 100,000 on farm. Yeah.
On farm.
Depending again on the spec, because the specs.
Yeah, there's a wide range.
From 85 horsepower, 85,000.
Yeah. Would you help the farmer out with the cost of it? Would you spread the cost over
there is
a period?
There is a case finance on 50% of the retail price.
Yep.
Is subject to a 0% finance.
Oh, fantastic.
Normally over 3 years, either annuals or monthly. So,
yep.
100,000, Nick is saying, is before a bit of discount, and usually there's a part exchange involved. Okay. So
now, obviously, because of the smaller farmer can't buy a tractor outright, do you do a lease for these sort of things? Do you do a lease scheme?
Yeah, we can do.
You can do a lease, so say have it for 2-3 years. And then return it like you would do with a car anyway. Yeah. But I mean, it would help the small farmer out really, rather than 100,000 out. I mean, he's got to sell a bit of land to a developer to get that sort of money, isn't it?
It depends on how often they've changed tractors or what tractor they've got to part exchange. Usually, if the tractor's 5 years old, they'll have some residual left in the part exchange, and then the figure starts to come down.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not very often that you don't get a deal where there's a part exchange coming in and it's under 50%. So then you can divide that either by 5 annuals or 3 annuals, or break it down into months. You can spread the finance over a longer period, or like the interest goes up a little bit. But there are all sorts of ways of buying a tractor.
Oh, fantastic. Now, moving on from the 120, we've got the 125 in the background. I'm going to speak to your young lady in a minute about servicing.
Yep.
But can we move on to the next one along? Steve?
Yes.
So, tell us about what's the difference between the 125 and the 120 then?
Well, the obvious is this is a little bit of a bigger tractor.
Right, yes.
A bit more horsepower, a bit more technically advanced. Cabs, a different cab, wider cab, heavier tractor. That is more of a direct replacement for your 5130, 5140, 5150. That's why it still keeps the Maxim name, which is what the 5100s were.
You can definitely see the difference. I mean, that is just looks a strong tractor. Got the bigger wheels, big, and everything about it. So, obviously directed more on the arable side of things, where you're dragging a direct drill round nowadays rather than ploughing and cultivating. We tend to direct drill now, mill till they call it, don't they?
Yeah, I'd say this is more of an all-rounder tractor.
Yep.
Say you start off with your smaller arable farmer, but it's quite a big tractor for your livestock farm.
So what sort of acreage would you say this would suit? Would you say like a 1,000 acre tractor?
Thereabouts. I've sold a couple recently to people that have got between 750 and 1,100.
So it's perfect for that sort of bracket range, yeah?
Perfect for a loader on. It's still a 4-cylinder tractor.
Oh, 4-cylinder?
When you go up to a 150, that's a 6-cylinder tractor. So it's very similar, but it's a bigger.
I can see it's got the blue markings on it, obviously, so all new diesels are going that way for the
AdBlue.
The AdBlue, yes.
The AdBlue has come down from the bigger tractors and it's come right down through the range now. So again built in Austria, same place.
Yeah. Now developing the engine, obviously, is this a newer engine for this model, or would you say
this is a Tier 4, isn't it? Nick, still this isn't the latest one.
So it's been in the market for some time, so it's well trodden.
Yeah, we've moved on to Tier 5 now, so some of the tractors that we've got on order will be the next stage, Tier 5.
Okay, fantastic. There, bring the young lady in there, the service manager.
Janet's our service manager, been with Doe's for
Would you mind coming in, shot? Okay, then perhaps you could stand in alongside me or something.
Come on, Janet, you're slightly prettier than me.
Tell me about your servicing and what you offer on your if someone comes along and buys these 125s or 120, what can you offer them as a service manager?
Well, we normally try and sell them with a service plan,
as
part of the deal, or they can do pay-as-you-go servicing.
Yep.
So they pay up front as and when it needs the service.
Okay, and so for argument's sake, if a tractor breaks down on a farm out in the field, middle of cultivation or harvest time, have you a team to go out there and help the farmer?
Yes, we've got mechanics. I'll be in the office taking the phone calls and then organising the mechanics to go out and fix it.
Because a lot of the times these days it seems to be a laptop is the main toolbox, isn't it? So you can just go out with a laptop and charge them a lot of money just for looking at a computer screen.
Well, some of it we can do remotely, but the diagnostics is mainly through the laptop, and then it needs the mechanic's knowledge and understanding of the machine to actually take it apart and rebuild it.
Fantastic, and that, as you say, that's you offer that scheme when the farmer buys the tractor off.
Yes, it depends how the farmer wants to buy it.
Yep.
But we can do a maintenance contract, or they can do pay-as-you-go.
The majority of our tractors now are sold on 5 years warranty, 5 years service packages, so the customer knows how much he's paying per month.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Doesn't have any hidden costs of any hidden breakdowns. So
now, as with a car, now it normally gets to a 10,000 hour service. Do you have to bring the tractor back to the depot, or do your team go out there?
It'll be done on the farm.
It'll be done directly on the farm. Your service team will go out in a van, have all the parts they might need.
Yes.
And for tyres, would that be an issue for you guys, or do you use a third party for the tyres?
Tyres we use third party for.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks ever so much for giving us your time.
Thank you
For it all, and keep smiling.
All right. Thank you very much.
Well, good afternoon.
Thank you.
Danny, is it? No, Danny's your father,
I'm
isn't
Charlie.
it? Charlie. We're with your tyre company.
Yep.
Now, you obviously go out to the farms.
Yep.
On site, repair and replacing tractor tyres. You working mainly North Kent or all over?
No, so we're covering all of Kent now. So our bulk of our work is around, say, from Maidstone round to Sevenoaks and Tunbridge and Dartford. But we're kind of spreading our load really and going all the way over Folkestone, Dover, Romney, Marsh and everywhere else.
All right, so you offer the complete service, brand new tyres and repair on site.
Yep.
I can see your service truck behind us.
Yep.
Now, you carry everything on that, what you need, all your tools, you don't have to keep going backwards and forwards to your depot?
No, and we can carry a fair amount of tyres on there. And if it's a job where there's more than, say the whole big set of tractor tyres, we can put our trailer behind there and everything's all done on one van.
Right. Fantastic. Is this your Danny behind me wandering around?
Yeah,
he ignored me last time, didn't he? So
serving drinks to everyone.
Yeah, we ain't served one to me yet. Anyway, now do you keep a few tyres in stock, or do you go?
Yeah, so the most important stuff, so trailer tyres, forklifts, and like the most common tractor tyres we keep in stock.
Yeah.
That's just for emergencies. But then any tyre we want, we can get the next day for the morning delivery.
Oh, right.
So all of our tyres get shipped down to DX, and we collect from there half 6 in the morning, and then we can be out on site at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. So for argument's sake, it's middle of the harvest. They're all out in the field. Tyre breaks down. Hello, Danny. I need a repair. You'll go straight out there, then?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're 24/7 all year round. So even if it's like midwinter, Christmas Day, and the dairy farms hit a gate post saying they need repairing and then we'll go out Christmas Day. Whenever.
Oh, you're 24 hours a day, are you?
Yeah, 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Oh, so
last night, I didn't get into 10 o'clock last night.
Oh, okay, that's fantastic. Well, it's nice to know you carry a stock of tyres because, you know, I know everyone says about you can get next day delivery, but obviously sometimes you can't get next day delivery.
No, so sometimes the delivery is not always necessarily reliable. But even still, if it's an emergency, it's on the side of the road. If we haven't got a brand new one in stock, we can find a way to either repair it, put it in the tube in it to keep it going. If not, we've got some second-hand stuff in stock.
That's exactly what you read my mind now. I was to say, if you can't get a tyre, you carry some
so we carry
older tyres around.
We have about 20, we've got a 40-foot container full of second-hand tyres. So if we can't get one what fits perfectly, it will be the closest thing to it. So we'll have to keep it moving regardlessly.
Oh, fantastic. So that's ideal for the farmer out in the field, isn't it? Because he can't hang around waiting for a couple of 3 days for a tyre to turn.
No, of course not. So we can get anything next day delivery, or if we've got it in stock, we've got it in stock.
Now, can you put a tube in these tyres, or
you can put a tube in any tyre really. Some stuff it work better with tubes, so like cross-ply tyres, they have to have inner tubes in. Not necessarily always, but most of the time. But yeah, a lot of stuff nowadays still have tubes in, or if a tyre's got a big split in the side, and it might not be the best thing to do with put a big gator behind it and put an inner tube in it. You'll get a lot more life out of it than you would if it was carried on tubeless.
Okay, and now I think you ain't got a crane in the back of yours. Now these tyres are heavy. Do you do everything on the tractor itself? You pull the tyre off and leave the hub on there?
Most of the time it's easier to leave the rim on the machine. Because then that's a solid frame for you to work on. When you're unbolting stuff, it makes it more difficult. You need the forklift to lift wheels up and everything. So a lot of stuff it's easy just to do on the machine.
Well, I appreciate that, and thanks for giving us time to have a chat with me. Company's name is?
Be Short Tyres.
And you're based in?
Based in Maidstone, but covering the whole Kent.
Thanks ever so much.
No problem.
Cheers, mate. See you again. Good afternoon, Steve.
Good afternoon.
And you work for?
Haynes Agricultural, based out of Great Chart.
I was going to say, and that's where your base is now. What is your main tractor you deal with? Is it like company New Holland or Case or anything?
So Haynes have got 2 companies, but we're Haynes Agricultural, New Holland, or Haynes Agritech for Case. But in this area at Great Chart, we're New Holland.
New Holland.
And we've also got the JCB franchise as
Oh,
well.
have you? Oh, okay. And I mean, looking at this tractor behind me, it's a T7. 200 horsepower.
So this is T7, 185 horsepower, boosting up to 225.
Fantastic. And what market would you aim this tractor at? The arable side?
So this is a arable operated tractor. This is a top of the range, auto command, CVT transmission for an arable farm.
And so what sort of, I mean, I know it's rude to ask, what sort of price range are we talking about for this sort of tractor?
You've called me out really. Depending on
it's under 1,000 plus, is it? Are we talking under 1,000?
Yeah. So it'll be over 100,000. But obviously dependent on spec, the price is going to vary.
Now it's obviously all air conditioned cab and everything like that, and it's got the AdBlue system with it.
Yep, absolutely.
Now servicing, now obviously your company deals with the servicing part of it, and when you buy a tractor off you,
Yep.
do you buy a service plan with
Yeah,
it?
so you can tailor your warranty and your servicing. Obviously, it's a big part of modern day agriculture to try and fix your costs.
Yep.
So if you can have a built-in service plan, we would do that. The only awkward bit at the moment is it's very volatile in terms of oil pricing, etc. So it's quite hard.
Still everything's gone through the roof at the moment. Now I'm building a barn at the moment, and the cost of steel, concrete, everything's gone through the roof at the moment. Now the range you deal with, I mean obviously the T7 200 horsepower.
Yep.
What's your smallest one and what's your largest one?
So we do go down to the boomer range of tractors, which are like your fruit and vineyard tractors.
Yep.
So our Rutum depot would specialise in those.
Rotom, yeah.
Yeah. Then we've got the T5 range, which would be your 4-cylinder. You have more sort of livestock utility tractors, loader tractors.
And would you be able to put, say, a 4-loader on the front of that for the livestock farmer?
Yeah.
So it'd fit, and you'd be able to supply that, would you, through Haynes?
Yeah. So you can order that through the factory, configure it with a loader on, depending on.
And
what
your
size
boys
it is.
would all configure it on site, so when the farmer turns up, it's theirs, done, it can go straight to work.
All be done through PDI, ready to go.
Oh, fantastic. And so we get them from the T5 to the C7, is it? And then...
Yeah, so there's a T6, which is you'd be your smaller horsepower 6-cylinder tractors.
Yeah.
And then you'd be into your T7, which is our sort of mainstay of our arable tractors. And they're available on a short wheel base, a long wheel base, and then we've got some heavy duty in the higher horsepower.
Okay. And do you do a lease scheme on your tractors, or is it mainly?
No, not as such. I mean, we would try to obviously tailor financing, to the individual.
Yep.
And just try and do whatever we need to do.
Oh, fantastic! And you have obviously a service agreement with them, and if a tractor breaks down after it's been in the middle of harvest, you got a team to go out there.
So we've got a dedicated fleet of demo tractors. So we would always.
Oh, so you'd swap them over?
Yeah, we would always try and
that's
keep someone running
fantastic.
through our demo fleet, and then worst case if we need to go back to the manufacturers to try and get a support machine, we will.
But that's a good idea, because rather than trying to repair it, it could be down for an hour, 2 hours, and it's holding everything up. You can just bring another tractor along, park it alongside that one, change it around.
Absolutely, yeah. Not necessarily going to be exactly the same tractor, but something equivalent horsepower that can stand in and cover it.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. As I say, so it's your Haynes out. Where did you say you was?
Had a great chart.
Out of Great Chart, and you're a New Holland and
JCB. Yep.
Thanks ever so much for your time. I do appreciate
Pleasure.
it.
Nice
And your
to meet
name
you.
was, sorry again?
Steve Baker.
Steve Baker. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for your time. Good afternoon. It's George, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And your company's called?
We're Tuckwells,
And you're based out of?
Ivy Church down in Romney, Marsh.
Ah, okay. And you're a John Deere dealer.
We are indeed.
And you've got a fair range with you today. We've got 370 on tracks.
Yep.
Shall we have a chat about that one first, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
So, I presume 370, are we talking about 300 horsepower?
Yeah, so that's basic 370 horsepower, but that's without boost. So,
without boost,
yeah. So a boost over 400, and obviously it's running on the tracks.
Yep.
So this was new.
Less ground compaction?
Yeah, so less ground, but you've got less ground compaction running on that than you have on a 6155R in road transport mode. So if you run across the same field, you'd get more compaction out of a small frame 6R or mid frame 6R than you would out of one of these.
Now the tracks. Now tell me the good and the bad bits about the tracks. Now obviously, do they wear the same as the tyre, or are they comparatively priced? I know they don't go flat, that's for certain.
Exactly. I think it's all dependent on ground condition and what you're doing with them. So from what we've seen, compared to like the most top level IF and VF tyres, you'll get more power to the ground with tracks than you will with any tyre.
Yes.
And
well, you've got a bigger footprint for a start, haven't you?
You've got a larger footprint, and with the ratio on the ground here, we've seen this outpulling most machinery sort of 100 horsepower above it, conventional horsepower above it.
Sorry, go on.
So that's purely down to the fact we're getting more power to the ground.
Okay. Now, is it a road tractor or is it mainly a field tractor? Now, obviously, a lot of farms are spread between sort of like 10 miles away these days. Would that be okay on the road?
That's fine. So yeah, you'd run it on the road. The John Deere say don't run it for more than 4 hours in a continuous run, and then you'll start to see adverse track wear. But on the road, it performs as a tractor. So where you're used to the twin tracks, where you get banged about, you don't get that with these.
I was to say, the suspension is good on this, is it?
It's fantastic. You wouldn't see it much different to that of a wheeled machine.
Oh, okay.
Even though it's better in some scenarios.
So where are they built?
So these are all built at Waterloo, out in the States, so where all the 8Rs come from.
Okay, so you ship them across?
Yeah, it's all shipped into Southampton.
What, in bits or as
fully?
a whole?
So they all come in full with tracks on.
Oh, blimey. Yep.
So it's not like the combines that come over, the tracks come from a separate factory and we fit them all on there.
Yeah.
These they are a purpose-built track machine.
Oh, fantastic. Obviously it's an arable tractor, it's not a farmyard tractor, so you wouldn't be thinking about putting a four-loader or anything like that on the front of it. But I mean, you could drag a fair piece of equipment behind you.
Oh yeah, huge. And like I say, we're sort of when we're putting up against quad tracks.
Yeah. So you could probably put, say, a 20-year-old mill till on the back there, could you?
Yeah.
And that would be no problem for it at all?
We've had it pull in, and like anything, it's all banks. And
and would you have, say, a fertiliser truck on the back of that, so as it feeds the fertiliser in with the seed and that sort of thing?
Yeah, anything which is sort of pushing sort of that 400 horsepower mark, we're more than happy to sit behind this and work.
Okay, what sort of size fuel tank have we got in it?
I'm unsure on that one actually on this spec.
But it could run all day in the field with no
all
problem?
day. So yeah, it's designed to run all full day. So absolutely no. So we see these roughly sitting in big tillage environments for about 40 litres an hour.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, you're sort of.
And obviously a climate controlled cab.
Oh yeah, fully climate controlled. I think this one's got it with a spec within it, so you get a full massage seat built into it.
No, really?
Yeah. It's also got all the air conditioning that pumps in and fills around. So same you get in sort of a Range Rover.
Oh, okay. And obviously the tech-wise, you can put it on these new GPS systems and.
Yeah, so that's what I specialise in. So this will run anything. So it's got the actual integrated receiver on this, so you won't have any issues with thefts. This has also got all the telematics built into it, so that's all pinging back to the factory out in Germany. Well, it's landing in Germany and also Waterloo, and it's benchmarking to the point now we've got what we call expert alerts. So we get generally 50 hours heads up before this is going to have a major fault.
Oh,
for us to carry out remedial work without actually it going wrong in the field.
Now, for mapping wise, how would you sort of map the field for this? Would you drive around the perimeter of the field?
So there's multiple ways we can do it. We can go and actually create the map on the laptop and then send it wirelessly to the screen, or we can go and actually just pull into the field, name the field, actually go and then do the work, paint the field over with a coverage map, and then it will auto create a boundary and everything off the side of it. Within it as well, you've got the ability to put internal headlands, and this has got turn automation, so you put into the field, you press a button, it will go down the road. Down the road you can see how you want to bout, and it will drive itself around the headlands, drop it in.
Fantastic.
You just have to press a button.
And obviously you offer that service to the farmer straight away?
It's all rolled in. So my department I look after, we're the technology department, and then our job is purely to run around looking after tech.
Yeah.
There's 8 of us across the group now, so it's becoming a growing, more important part of agriculture.
And do you offer a 24-hour service? Because obviously you've got to run these 24 hours a day
we're open.
now.
Yeah, we're constantly open. There's 24 hours a day, which is about
So you could have a man in the field within hours, the phone call coming through, could you?
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Fantastic. Anyway, shall we move on to the rest of the equipment while we've got it here?
Sure.
We've got behind us the Gator, the original Gator. Now, this is a new Gator, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, what's the difference between the old Gator and the new Gator? See, it's lovely and shiny.
Homologate, so it went through the new homologation, so it's all EU standard.
Yep.
These ones as well, they're becoming more and more of a used item on farm. So these all you can have air conditioning. This has actually got the cabinet heating. So on the Gator side of things, it's probably one of the best selling. He sells sort of 5 of these a week.
Would you sort of point this towards the farm manager rather than the farmer going round? Because you've got the climate control cab on it. Now, obviously, it's your Land Rover, isn't it? Really, so you can shoot about. And perhaps if you have a livestock farm, you can go out and see the livestock in it.
Yeah. So it's in all honesty, it's really down to it's for anyone on the farm.
Okay.
It's like we see sort of where sort of working environments and people want to improve working environments for their operators. Having a climate control cab because you're driving out with doors on it.
Especially on a day like today.
On a day like today, you want to keep it cool and actually having the air conditioning to make it a very pleasant place to sit for the day. Oh,
fantastic. Now, it's got a diesel engine, I presume,
in it? So there's diesel, there is a petrol option as well.
Would it be something for the future, because we're going over to battery side, are you developing a battery?
Yeah, so John Deere, we do a battery power Gator already, so it's one of our more turf-based ones that run on petrol. Okay. They've got a battery option out there. Everything's moving over to battery operated side of it.
Yeah, well,
as an agricultural industry, we're not accredited to work on a lot of electric vehicles. So if you see sort of what they're seeing in more sort of the dealerships, or you drag your Land Rovers, Toyota and things like that. It's a completely different way of working. So obviously you've got the chance of electrocuting someone when they go wrong. So.
Let's move on to your last tractor then.
Yeah.
Come in front. So what have we got here? We got the 6155R.
Yeah, so this is UK's most popular mid-frame tractor in its horsepower bracket.
So you can stick an edge cutter on the back of this, it'd be no problem.
Yeah.
Would you? It's got a front linkage on it, so you could have a front tool on the back and a front tool on the front, and drive 2 tools at one time. Could you?
Yep, exactly. See people using it. It's really sort of Swiss Army knife tractor. It will do everything. From drilling through to cultivations.
From second you're cutting grass, so you can widen the area you're cutting with a front mower and a rear mower, can't you?
And they're fully spec front rear PTOs.
Yeah, and what sort of horsepower are we looking at?
So this is, again, it's 155 straight horsepower.
And the R stands for?
So that's the R, so you've got the M and the R, so the R is the premium model.
Yeah.
So within this goes 50k. It boosts, so you're boosting up to 193 horsepower.
So it is a good range, right from the dairy, the livestock farmer, right up to the big arable farms. And you, as you say, you can put a hedge cutter on the back of it, and you've got a multi-tool facility with front linkage and everything like that. So, as it's an all-round tractor, what sort of price, or is that rude to ask, what sort of price would this go out your door at?
It really depends on spec. I don't know the spec of this particular model. But I know they're sort of around the 100 grand mark, just underneath. So like
it's in that same sort of class, isn't it? You know, I mean, I think you've got to be in that sort of class, you know, because it's so competitive these days. You know, because once upon a time you had a blue farm or a red farm or a red, you know, but now everyone has a bit of everything because it's what you can get the best price for the farmer. As you say, and these tractors come in at £100,000. You're not going to get 100 grand stuck in your back pocket, are you, anytime?
No, and I think the thing is, I always seeing people go across where we talk about a plough match to the right place, but where we're looking at 0 tillage drills, you put a 6 metre 750A on the back of this, and all of a sudden you've got rid of every tractor on the farm that's above 200 horsepower.
I mean, that's typical today. They've obviously chopped up the wheat straw, and it's been a nightmare to plough in it, because you can't bury the straw today, but it's forward thinking about carbon footprints, releasing the carbon, mill tills, the direct drilling, or whatever you want to call it. So it's the way forward. Well, I appreciate your time, George.
No worries.
And just one quick one, your Tuckwells down at
Ivy Church, down at Marsh.
And they can find you on the internet.
Yes.
Thanks ever so much, George. Excellent. I appreciate it.
Cheers then. No worries.
Good afternoon, Marcus, and you're Agwoods, and you're based in
Folkestone and Linton, and soon to be down in Crawley in West Sussex.
And you're a Massey Ferguson dealer?
Yes.
Do you cover any other tractor, or are you just Massey Ferguson?
Just Massey Ferguson.
And I can see we've got some sort of cultivator behind us. Are you a cultivator?
We're full line, we're full blown ag dealer. So we have a full line of equipment. That particular cultivator, that's a low disturbance cultivator, so it doesn't bring the dirt up.
We'll talk about that in a minute, because let's carry on with this tractor first before you go ahead with this. Now, what have we got here then? It's a Massey Ferguson.
You've got the new Massey Ferguson 8S.
Right.
Brand new, was launched last year.
Yep.
Was 12 years in development. Quietest cab at the moment on the market.
All right, and it's a fully air conditioned, climate controlled cab.
Oh yes.
And as I was speaking to the one of your competitors earlier, and they said they've got massaging seats. Have you got anything like that?
We've got everything.
You've got everything. You're not going to say no, are you? Really?
You've got everything. Modern tractors have everything. You've got auto steer. You've got heated screens, heated rear screen. You're sitting in that for 12, 14, 16 hours a day. You've got all the comfort.
Fantastic. And obviously you do the service plan with the tractor when you sell a tractor to a farm or a few tractors. Now, what's the range of tractors? Now, you said this is the 8S. Where do you start from, the smallest one?
We start from the very smallest compact tractor.
And that's
a 15 and 17 series. Then we go to the specialist fruit series tractors, which is for the fruit industry.
The spraying.
We enjoyed this afternoon in the sunshine and in the breeze.
You can't stop him.
And
then we go to the small 47, 57, which is like a mechanical tractor. Then we go to the new 5S, new 6S, which was launched 3 days ago. The new 7S was launched at the same time. 8S that goes from 200 horsepower up to 300 horsepower, and then we're into the big 87 series, which goes up to 400 horsepower.
Fantastic. It's a lovely looking tractor. I'm a Ferguson man myself. I could do the grey Ferguson, so I know it's a bit different to what you got in front of you. Yeah, I mean, it's a superb looking tractor. Any tractor in red looks good to me, but I don't know, perhaps I'm a little bit biased, you know.
That is a brand new off the drawing board. There's only two things that they pulled off the previous Massey tractor. It's the colour of the paint and the front axle. Everything else is new.
Really? So it's not proven yet though, really, is it? Is it not proven? Because, you know...
Well, in 12 years in development,
right,
there was an awful lot of tractors all around the world, depending on the seasons, depending on the season they were working out there on test and development for a long time.
But this is what we want to hear, isn't it? Yeah. I see it's got a front linkage on it. Has it got a PTO on the front list?
Can have.
It hasn't on this one, but
it can have.
It can have. So you can do a multiple tool process, a double mower on the rear. Mower on the rear and a mower on the front, that sort of thing. So that's fantastic. And sort of price range for a job of this sort of size, over £100,000.
Oh yes, yeah. It's very difficult to give a true answer to that because it depends how you spec it. You can have the very basic spec, and it can be tens of thousands of pounds difference between if you put everything on and then the top spec.
Okay, and do you do a lease scheme if a farmer wants a lease one?
You can have contract hire, Yes,
contract hire. This is what I was thinking.
Becoming more popular, but that's down to the individual company.
Well, I think it's becoming more popular because the cost of repair on these tractors these days. I mean,
5 years warranty.
5 years warranty. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. So the very first company, sorry interrupting, the very first agricultural company to do extended warranty was Massey Ferguson. All the rest copied us.
Now, is that parts and labour, or is
it's a proper warranty? Full blown.
Blimey. Oh, and well, I'm shocked.
And that's always been, and that's been out for years and years. There are other companies who did it, but it was an insurance policy. This is a proper warranty. So what's covered in year 1 is covered right year through to year 5. There's no excess, there's no call out. It is warranty,
that's
proper warranty.
I mean, that's when you're going to change a tractor in 5 years' time. It's done its work, isn't it, by then?
Yep.
So you're going to turn around and buy another one off you if it's been that good, isn't it?
If you have it on contract hire, you can have it on contract hire for 5 years, for example, and then you know what your payments are going to be. The only unknowns is the bottom on the seat and the fuel in the tank.
Yes. Okay, then we finish off with the now you got. I'm going to spin the camera around now to the cultivator, John. Tell us what you got. Let's see if I can get a better picture of what we got here.
That is new, really, for work to try to prevent black grass. If you want to cultivate and you want to deep cultivate, you bring the soil up, you bring the black grass up. This is an ultra low disturbance cultivator, so it breaks the pattern, but doesn't bring the soil up to the surface.
Oh, right, because that's the trouble with these modern tractors. They're so heavy and such a big footprint, it does compact it, doesn't it? Whereas this will get down there, break it up,
break the pan,
give the drainage.
Give the drainage. You don't break the soil. That cuts in the soil. You roll on the back, brings it back down, so it heaves it up, but doesn't bring all the undersoil, doesn't bring the subsoil up to the surface.
The clay, basically, and all that clay and stuff. And that is strictly to you. You've no other dealer on this.
In this area, no other dealer does. We are a dedicated dealer for this area.
So, what sort of size tractor would this need?
That one depends on the ground, depends on the soil, but 120. 140.
Fantastic. And it's got the compactors on the back just to sort of level it back down afterwards after lifting. Well, I appreciate your time, Marcus, and just before we go, tell us a little, where are you based now then?
Me personally or the company? Me personally, down into East Sussex, all the way through the Romney Marsh, up to Ashford, and then sort of through middle of Kent.
And someone could get on the phone and ask for Marcus and they can talk to you direct.
You can.
That'd be fantastic. Thanks, Mark. Thanks ever so much.
Pleasure.
Cheers, mate. Cheerio. Camera. Well, good afternoon, Ashley. Now, you're from Crawford.
That's it, Robin.
And what we got in front of us here?
Well, we got a lovely Fendt 942 Profi Plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
big old tractor, isn't it?
It's a big tractor. What sort of horsepower are we talking?
420, I believe.
420?
Yeah.
That's a huge tractor. The front linkage on the front?
That's it, yeah. Got all the bits you need.
And the PTO?
That's it.
Climate control cabs?
That's it. Fridge as well.
Fridge as well?
Yeah, toolbox. Yeah, what more do you need in a tractor like this?
Well, exactly. What more do you need?
What do you need?
A backup service. Let's talk about a backup service.
Yeah, true, yeah. Backup's important, yeah.
Yep, so you offer, if something happens in the field during harvest,
Yes.
you can have a team go straight out there within a few hours, can you?
As quick as we can, yeah. Quick as we can, yeah. Depends what sort of breakdown it is and who we've got around, but yeah.
And you can do a 24-hour service on that?
We can do indeed, yeah.
Yep, and
As much as we can to help the farmer out, that's the idea, that's why we're here.
yeah, and do you do a warranty on your tractor?
You can have 8 years now, 8,000 on a tractor.
Is that parts and labour?
It is indeed, yeah.
So, as soon as you buy a Fendt, I mean, they're a gorgeous tractor, they are fantastic. I feel they're the Rolls Royce of tractors. But
Oh, we think they are too.
Yeah. With Crawfords, but you cover quite a big range of tractors though.
Well, we're doing the voucher as well as the Fendt. We haven't got a voucher here today.
Yeah.
We will obviously at the next ploughing match, the Wheel of Kent, but we've obviously got the Fendt here today, but we've got a voucher as well. So.
And a voucher is obviously it's sort of like a cross between an in-betweeny really, sort of like,
yeah.
It's better and the more known makes.
Yes.
It offers quite a good standard of tractor.
Well, they call themselves
it's not
the
top of the
Volvo
range
of the tractor
to
world,
Fendt.
don't they? They call themselves a Volvo of the tractor world. So
Gotcha.
they're unlimited, how many colour you want, how many colour wheels you want.
Really?
Yeah. Great forestry tractor, that's their roots, isn't it? It's the finished tractor. That's where they come from originally, obviously Valmet and companies now
So you
changed
can
the
put
voucher.
an edge cutter on the back of a voucher.
Oh, of course you can, yeah.
Yeah,
We've got
a
several
four
customers
loader
that
or
run
something
that.
like that.
You can indeed, yeah. You can have twin track, you can turn the seat all the way around 180, have a stream on the back of the tractor.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
So what sort of, I mean, you've got the bigger there,
Yeah.
and that, you did say how many horsepower this is, did you?
I did, yeah. So this is 420.
420
Yeah.
horsepower. Now, where did you start in the Fendt range? What sort of horsepower did you start at?
Well, depends what range you go. We go from the fruit, don't we?
70 horsepower tractor.
70 horsepower fruit
And
tractor,
is this
yeah.
the largest one or the
Oh, we go
middle?
larger than this.
You go larger?
Oh, we do, yeah. We go larger, don't we? 1050, yeah. Go to a 1050, yeah, fancy it, yeah. That's it.
Your colleagues talking in the background. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's nice to see you here today.
That's
and,
all right.
I really appreciate your time giving me.
Thanks for coming round. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah. Cheers,
Thank
mate.
you very much. Cheers.
Well, there you go then, just a quick walk through the dealers that we got on the ploughing match today. Thanks for coming along. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up for me. It's a short little video. What I'm going to do now is go to the results and see where I come. Thanks again, see you soon.